Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Good Time Movie Reviews. I'm Wyatt. That's JP. And today we are talking about Steven Soderbergh's new movie, second movie of the year for him,
Mhm.
Black Bag. I will get right into it. This will be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this video. That'd be dumb of you. But JP, I will hand the floor over to you. What this movie rocks, doesn't it? This movie rocks.
I think it's fun. It's a good 90-minute. I think people are calling it like sexpionage, sexy espionage. Bunch of hot people that are trying to stab each other in the back. It's a really fun spy thriller, 90 minutes, super short. It's like prime Redbox or Blockbuster rental. Like you
Yeah.
see the title, you see the actors, and you're like, screw it, this is going to be my entertainment for tonight. It's also a really good like date movie
Yes.
setup. So I think it's really good. You have to compare it to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Like it's
Mhm.
kind of an inevitable. Is it as good as that? I don't think it's as good as Mr. and Mrs. Smith in terms of the set pieces, but I think. I mean, Soderbergh came out with two movies this year. That is insane, and it's only March. I,
Yeah.
I, I don't I don't I don't know if
The
that's a record or not. I feel like it is. I don't really know.
The other one's Presence, right?
Yes. Yep.
I have not seen it. Have you?
I have seen it.
Are you in a church right now?
No, sorry, that was my clock.
Oh, no,
It's
you're
2 o'clock.
fine.
We have a grandfather clock. Um, no, I've seen Presence. It's the concept is better than the movie because the whole concept of Presence is a haunted house where the POV of the camera is the ghost. So you see everything the ghost sees. You learn everything as the ghost is learning it as a family moves into the haunted house. It's a very fascinating idea that I think Soderbergh is kind of the I want to do everything kind of guy. Same with Sean Baker. Like these filmmakers love lower budgets because it gives them more control to put as many of their fingers in the pie as they can. And I think sometimes Soderbergh, his probably best known movie was Ocean's 11. That movie is oozing with style and like personal iconography, and he really is clearly in control, one mind of everything. Really good stuff. Some of his other movies, it looks like he's spread too thin, and I think Presence and a little bit of Black Bag, you can kind of see that he's too busy thinking about everything. He doesn't write the scripts, but he like pitches the idea. He always films everything. He's the camera guy in all of his movies. Pretty sure, at least most of his movies. And he's the director and like the producer and everything. Yeah.
Okay. So this movie for me, kind of a low bar, but is the best movie I've seen this year. I think it's better than Mickey 17. And what other releases have I seen this year? That might be it. Out of 2025 releases, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I'm missing anything. I've seen a lot of older movies that I just was catching up on, but beginning of the year feel
Yeah.
like is always kind of slow. Black Bag, this is all right. We're here. Movies are we're, I think this is a good bar for where we're
Yeah.
at. And I think
Yeah.
this is a movie I described it as the best 2014 FX movie I've ever seen. So for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
I a lot of movies I saw growing up would be like I throw FX on and it's like cut with commercials in between, and you can hop into this movie into any scene and be like, oh, I'm in this. All right, I'm getting
Yeah.
the vibe of what's going
Yeah.
on because the overall actual plot doesn't matter in my mind. I don't even remember what it was. The little
No.
like
Hmm.
is it Severus? Is that what they're was that the name of it?
Oh, they're like named for. I think it was Severus. Because it's
Okay.
like you said, it's like Severance. Are they doing
Yeah.
Severance in this?
No,
Yeah. No.
it's
Yeah.
it and that part like doesn't matter to me, and I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's okay in a movie like this where it's really just cool, sexy spies hanging out and trying to figure out what's going on,
Yeah.
and that's fun. And I think this is a movie I would turn on in like 2014 as like a 13-year-old, be like, this is cool. This is cool. I like these
Mhm.
people. I think they're fun characters. I just think all the acting performances in this movie work for me, other than maybe Pierce Brosnan, but I don't think it's his fault. I
He's
just think
only
he
in
did.
like 2 scenes. Yeah.
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 I saw, oh, Pierce Brosnan, awesome. And then he doesn't really do much. And I
Mhm.
don't think it's not like he's bad. He just doesn't do much.
Yeah.
Standouts for me. I do love that this is 90 minutes, a quick watch.
Yes.
So fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
I think
tight.
that goes with you saying it feels like it would be on FX. This is not, again, we are early in the year. This is not the biggest movie of the year. Like every trailer you see for every movie now is like, this is the biggest movie of the year. It's been like that since Avatar or even before that. That's kind of how the box office stays alive. So, no, this movie was not meant to really do well. It's like a B level movie. It's like I said, like you rent it for a night or you go the second week it's out on a date. Like it's
Mhm.
that movie. 90 minutes, super brief, good characters, decent scenes. It's sexy, it's quick, it's really witty. That's all it needs to be. It's
Yep.
that level of movie. Yeah.
So one thing I want your help with, because I don't know if I'm
Mhm.
thinking with my heart or my head here, but the character of Clarissa, who's played by Marissa Abella, if I got that right.
Is that the
She's
young woman?
Yeah, she's the young woman. She's like the satellite guru person of the
Mhm.
group who's dating Freddy's character,
Yeah.
and has one of my favorite. I think my favorite moment of the movie is the in the opening dinner scene, and she literally stabs him in the hand, and he says like, "That's the most boring thing you could have done," or something like
Yeah.
that. Like that
Yeah.
that got me. That was very
Yeah.
fun. But in terms in my mind, she like stole the movie for me. I wanted more of her. I wanted her in every scene. I
Mhm.
don't know if that's just my heart because she's a beautiful lady, or is she actually that good?
She brings a very Gen Z energy into the movie. I think in a very well executed way. Sometimes it's like, oh, we need to put this character in the movie for the Gen Z audience to make a TikTok about, and it feels kind of ham fisted. The fact that she's so much younger than everybody and she acts very differently, but also that she's like super well read. She
Mhm.
knows the tricks that people like every other character have published books about. She has done her homework. So she's kind of a threat that way. I think is very well done. She has no field experience, but she can figure out what's going on really quick. I think her character is really fun. It brings a lot of energy into the movie, and I also think it's very well executed in what they were trying to do with her. Yeah.
Every scene she's in is just the sexiest scene of all time. Like that's just like the way she lives in that character. Like even when they're looking at the satellites, she
Yeah.
makes it super sexy. And when she oh, what's the other scene I'm thinking of? Oh, when they're at her apartment when Michael Fassbender's
Yeah.
uh character shows up, and he's like at the everything about it. I don't know if it's at my heart or my head, but I loved her in this movie. The other thing I want to point out, which was kind of shocking for me looking this up. So the psychologist or the therapist, Dr. Zoe,
Yeah.
she's played by Naomi Harris.
Hmm.
I how old do you think Naomi Harris is?
Well, she's in a lot of stuff, right?
I apparently I didn't
She
know who she was.
is she is she Calypso in Pirates of the Caribbean? I think she is.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, if I'm wrong, I'm going to look bad. I'm going to say she is uh 35.
She's 48.
48. Wow.
She looked
Okay.
incredible.
She looks great.
You could have told me she was 28 and I'd be like, "Yeah, she's great."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I didn't see her and be like, "Oh, she's from this movie." She has been in a lot of things. She's a great actress. So, that's my dumb brain who doesn't know things, but I saw her and I was like, "She looks incredible." When I saw she was 48, I was like, "Holy crap. Good for her." And what was like the performance for you? Like, what's the standout? Is it Kate Blanchett? Is it Fassbender? Or is it one of the supporting? Which performance is going to stand out the most for you?
I will say, I would say the Gen Z woman. The actress's name is Marissa Abella, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I think she. Well, first up, how old is she? 96.
Oh,
Okay, she's on the verge. She's on the verge. She's almost millennial.
but she's
Um,
27.
yes, I think so.
All right, I got a
She's
chance.
Oh, she's in like a lot of espionage TV stuff. Okay, so this is actually in her alley. This
Yeah.
like she knows what she's doing in this. I think she's the standout. Sorry, I'm looking up Naomi Harris real quick.
I think she was in
No, she's
28 Days Later.
she's the mom in Moonlight. That's what it is. Um,
Uh,
the drug addicted mom.
yeah.
Um, I would say I love Michael Fassbender. I'm so glad he's back into acting. He took a break to be like an F1 driver for a bit. He's his resume is crazy because he's like Irish German, and he's been in a lot of like Irish films where he speaks the language. He played Bobby Sands in one movie, which is a huge deal in terms of like Irish movie stuff. He was in the Kneecap movie last year as one of the dads. He's like an IRA, like hardcore Republican in that movie as well. Irish Republican, not American Republican.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's a really cool guy. He's in a lot of Steve McQueen movies. He's such a high caliber actor that people mostly know from playing young Magneto in the X-Men reboots. He is so underappreciated in like the cultural zeitgeist. If you're like a movie person, you know he's the shit.
Yeah.
But if you're outside, you don't really know him that well. And I think he plays his character very well, but it's a very reserved character that in 90 minutes you don't get a lot of time to understand him. Like his best moment is when he's cooking and he spills two drops of sauce on his white collar and he's just like sets everything down and he's like, I need to go change. It's like that's his character right there. He is
Yeah.
totally in control and he has a lot of really good moments. He knows how to like play with all the characters by being this stone faced kind of a killer, but he's not the killer. He's like the spy. Like he is the spy. And so all these people kind of like fear him in a certain way, but they like poking him. I think his character is really well. He plays it very well. But in terms of like remembering this movie, it's gonna be the satellite girl that she is
Yeah.
kind of the standout.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of the killer, I don't know if you did that on purpose there.
I
Michael
didn't,
Fassbender.
but yes. Yeah.
So, a lot of similarities in the character, I think, but way more exciting. In my the killer did not work for me. It honestly,
Mm,
I'll be honest, bored me to death. I don't even know if I finished that movie. I just could not. It was a drag to get through in my mind. And maybe I need to
mm.
go back. Maybe I was just in a bad place trying to get through that movie. But I think his character in this movie is what I wanted him to be in The Killer. And I know it's different like motivations where
Yeah.
it's like you're in a different spot, but I just really liked he's almost like he's neurotic to a fault and just I love the like you said the Mr. and Mrs. Smith like judging
Yeah.
each other in every interaction. They're spying on
Yeah.
each other within the relationship, but at the end it kind of is like it's them versus the world in a cool
Yeah.
way. Like
Yeah.
that worked for me and just the overall like distrust of everybody, but trust of each other and to a I don't know. Very cool. I enjoyed in that a lot. And I think a lot of that goes to how short it is. 90 minutes.
Yeah.
If it drags out any longer, it starts to fall off the wheels a little bit.
It is the perfect length, and I think we are burying the lead of what makes this movie really good. Is it is like a marriage goals movie.
Yeah.
It starts and is advertised as like don't trust your wife. This is going to be a manhunt, all that stuff. And then like kind of 2/3 or maybe halfway through the movie, they both like are in bed and they're both just like, oh god, we got played. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, they actually talk to each other. Like, oh, they're actually a good, healthy couple. Wow. Because the whole movie is showing like none of these people are worth dating. They will ruin your lives. Every single one of them. Except for these two. And the fact that they're actually happy is what starts this whole movie. Everyone wants to screw them over. And that's the real conflict. Like you said, the Severus thing is
Hmm.
kind of whatever. The
Yeah.
real conflict is those two are happy and I'm jealous. I'm going to ruin their lives. That like the most like Office Space drama turned spy espionage thriller. It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. That scene is, yeah, you're right. That scene with them in the bed where Kate Blanchett's character gets in and Michael Fassbender's obviously awake and just
Yeah.
he turns
Yeah.
over and they both kind of look at the ceiling and they're like, "All right, what are we gonna do about this? Like, we've
Yeah.
been getting play," and it's so simple, and it's like because the whole time, the first like hour leading up to that moment, it's like pitting those two against each other, and they're
Yes.
doing
Yeah.
spy versus spy, and then as soon as they get together, they're like, "All right, we're getting played. What are we gonna do about it?" It's that easy. Like
Yeah.
that's the resolution, and like that's cool. I like how they did that, and then they team up and all right,
Yeah.
let's figure this out.
If if you've ever seen a movie where it's like, why don't the characters just freaking talk to each other and get it over with? This movie does that. This
Yeah.
movie's like, all right, let's figure out what's going on. Like
Mhm.
it's pretty surprising how it changes like that. And it leads to, I think my favorite scene of the movie is the polygraph scene. Polygraph?
Yeah.
The lie
Yeah.
detector scene where Michael Fassbender's good at reading people and he doesn't like liars. So he plugs literally every character in the movie, he plugs them into the polygraph and it's like chopped up together through all of his questioning.
Mhm.
Every character. And it kind of proves like you kind of need good actors for every role. Because that scene, you have to show your entire character as an actor in one line read. That like that's all you get. And that scene is so well edited and so well paced. That's my favorite scene so
Oh, I
far of the year. It's my
yeah.
favorite scene so far of the year.
Oh, so good. And that's the other one I was thinking of for Marissa Bella's character. Oh, she kills
Yes.
that. She's so
Yeah.
good. Oh,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, Other thing I want to point out positive from this movie. Again, I really enjoyed this. And this is
Hmm.
probably going to be like my benchmark for a while for this year. Like, is it better than Black Bag? And I think it's a good, like,
Okay.
average, like, I like this. And it's very, like, there's not a lot of negatives about this movie. Maybe it doesn't do a ton of things great, like phenomenal, top notch, but
Yes. Yeah.
there's not like a oh this sucked about this movie. There's no like big negative, no big like plot hole
It's
or
the
anything.
definition of like solid,
Yeah.
reliable. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like the score as well. I think the
Yes.
score is really cool, and it's
Soderbergh always has like sexy scores that really like drive the movie forward. He always is really good with the music.
yeah. Anything else you want to talk about this movie? Anything stand out to you? Anything you want to bring
Yeah,
up?
I actually do have a big complaint
Okay.
that did kind of throw me out of the movie for a lot of scenes. I think the camera work is good. Soderbergh knows where to put the camera, and there's some great shots in the movie. How they did the post processing of the image, it reminded me of Wicked, where it's like, why is the light leaking over the actors? Like the window is so overexposed that it's covering half the actor's face, and I can't see the performance. And it's so clearly on purpose because every like whenever they go into a restaurant or whenever they have dinner, they have the lamps on the table that the glow from the lamp takes up 3 times the size of the actual prop in the frame. And they put like 20 of them on the table.
Yeah, there's so many
It's
candles, so many
there's so
lamps.
many
Yeah.
candles and lamps and like window light leaking and overexposed sky. It's very intentional, and a lot of espionage movies, at least that I am familiar with, are very into textured, high contrast imagery. And this movie is very soft, low contrast, kind of like moody lighting, but not sharp lighting. Like look at The Killer. Like look at The Killer with Michael Fassbender, and then look at this. The tactility of both movies are night and day difference. This movie is very soft, and I guess it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that it is a healthy relationship. But I'm sitting there, it's like, this is a spy movie. Why does it look like that? It looks very off. So that was my one big complaint.
Interesting. So that's something like that's the divide between you and me in terms
Mm-hmm.
of our film knowledge. Where
Yeah.
I do remember noting during the first dinner sequence all like the lamps or
Yeah.
candles or whatever they are, and
Yeah.
my brain was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like it's kind of like he's literally 20 candles, so
Yeah.
many candles.
Yeah.
I was like, he's just a crazy person in a
Yeah.
cool way. So yeah, it's something like I didn't really notice and didn't take me out of the movie, but again, I really enjoyed this. At the end of the day, longevity wise for this movie, is there any lifespan for this? Any like not obviously probably not awards, but like
No,
what's
not awards. No.
it's
Um,
just solid and unfortunately, like, is that the lifespan of this? Is just it's gonna come and go real quick
yeah.
or what?
I'm going to be honest. Yes. I don't know if you've been looking at the numbers. The box office weekends for this year are already like very terrifying. Um, Even compared to last year and the year before that, the numbers are looking bad, just straight up bad. Like, are we actually going to recover? It looks like we're not. So, movie theaters are in trouble. And I think there were 4 original movies that came out last weekend or the weekend before. And Black Bag was kind of in that mix. It was Mickey 17, Black Bag,
Novocaine.
Novocaine, and one more. There was a Looney Tunes movie, the first ever feature-length fully animated Looney Tunes movie ever to be released in theaters. Warner Brothers did not want it to succeed, so they did no promotional material for it.
Huh.
We had like 4 or 5 like fully original uh, movies, like non-franchise.
Yeah.
Some of them were adapted from books, but like non-franchise. Looney Tunes is an IP. You know what I mean? Not MCU.
Yeah.
Lower budget, and they did horrible. No one went to the movie theaters, and especially this movie, it's missing. Like the original John Wick movie would not have done well if it didn't start with the dog dying. Like you kind of need that one scene, like the Art the Clown slasher movies, Terrifier. The original Terrifier movie would not have gotten off the ground if he didn't saw a woman in half. Like, there's always that one scene that a movie at this level needs in order to be remembered, and this movie doesn't have it. The polygraph scene is, I like it because I like editing, and it's very well shot and edited and paced. But no oh shit moment that's going to make people talk about on TikTok happens.
Yeah.
There isn't any.
And who's the problem in all of that? Like, who is to blame if there is like a one? Is it streaming services that are real quick? Is it like production heads that are like, we're sending it to streaming in 2 weeks? Is it us, the consumer, who are like TikTok scroll 15 seconds, instant gratification? What's like the root of the problem?
The thing is, there's not one problem. There's like 5. That's like the really scary part. There's not one cure. There's not one solution. The studios have completely lost any power in marketing because all of our content consumption is like personalized. So, oh, you can put the Black Bag trailer during the Super Bowl. No one cares. Like you could put it during March Madness. No one cares. If you put a commercial out there on network TV, it will not get butts and seats. So, in terms of marketing, the studios have totally lost all of their original strategies that used to work. A24 is really the only studio that the logo has power in terms of getting people to buy tickets. And recently, A24 has kind of dipped in quality because of how they failed the Sing Sing thing and the brutalist controversies because of that whole Oscar season. So Neon is kind of picking up. And I think Neon did Black Bag. Neon has had some movies come out recently, like The Monkey and Longlegs, that they have nailed the marketing. So you have to fully restructure how you market movies to convince people to go to the movies. Because what used to work doesn't. Then you have streaming that makes watching movies so passive and forgettable because you can, while you're eating your noodles, turn on the TV and watch whatever you want. You don't have to put effort into watching movies anymore. And that's really bad if you want to make a movie that makes money. Like the Dungeons and Dragon movie that came out 2 years ago, it
Yeah.
didn't perform in the box office. You put it on Netflix, holy shit, it's the number one movie after a weekend. And everyone talks about it at length. It's like, where were you when it needed you? Like at
Yeah.
this point, it's too late. It could have gotten a much better deal being contracted for Netflix, but because it didn't do well, Netflix probably bought it for cheap, and now you get to watch it like for free. So that movie financially failed, even though everyone that it was made for eventually saw it and liked it. So streaming is also a problem in terms of movies being successful. And then it is us. We aren't going every week. We aren't going as much as we used to in like the 2000s and the 1900s. Oh my gosh. But it used to be like a passive thing. You would go for date night. You would go like, oh, the slasher movie of the summer. Like, let's go to that. Like Finn Wolfhard has a slasher, a sexy camp counselor slasher movie coming out in 2 weeks, I think. I am so freaking excited. It's not going to do well, but I'm so excited because it's like, that's the movie I love. And I keep like, I'm shouting from the rooftops, like, Hollywood has kind of gotten used to me going to the theater, people like me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make Barbie and it grosses $1 billion, and it's like they don't learn from that. You're catering to like a very specific demographic to go to the theaters. You're like ignoring more than 50% of the people in the United States. It's
Yeah.
That's more the marketing and like what you produce. But it is like movie tickets are going up. People are super busy, so they're not going to the theater. And I could just wait for it to. I could just wait for it to get on streaming. That's a problem. This is
Yeah.
not a sustainable model on any level. The only
So
reason
like,
Netflix, the only reason
so,
Netflix is like in the green is because they've been in debt for 10 years, and in doing so, they completely dismantled network TV.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
So I guess my question is, what is the effects down the line? Because I too have like, I love going to movies. I go every week, and I always kind of try to champion for it and tell people, hey, go to the movies. Like, but then I've sat back and thought a little bit. I'm like, it's not going to affect me going to the movies. Me
yeah.
personally, I'm still going to go. So why should I care that other people aren't? And I do care. I want people to go, but how is that going to impact me as someone who is going no matter what? Does that make sense?
I movie theaters are closing. We've been
Okay.
losing screens every year since COVID. It's bad. And there are certain things that are better watched on the big screen with large crowds. And like I didn't even go see Captain America Civil War. Like that's where we're at.
Yeah.
The surefire hits are not working anymore. The movie theaters cannot survive on what is happening right now. They can't.
Well, apparently Snow White's bombing too, and that feels
It
like a
is. Yes.
cash grab.
That is super scary that an MCU movie and a Disney live action remake, even though those movies have been very low quality for years,
Hmm.
they've been guaranteed $1 billion hits. And now
Is that
they're
a
not
good thing though?
anymore.
Is that a good thing that hey, the audience is waking up and like this isn't good quality, so we're not going to show up for it, and then maybe the studios will adjust and put more emphasis on quality and change the marketing? Is
You
that a
would
good thing,
hope
or is that,
so. You would hope so. I think in terms of marketing, they are learning how they're doing the Thunderbolts press
Mhm.
PR is interesting. Um, studios never learned the right lesson. They never learned the right lesson. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So I am scared that theaters, especially like, first off, AMC, Regal, and Cinemark have in recent years either filed for bankruptcy or been super close and gotten helped out. It's more the art theaters that are going to fail. You and I are fortunate. There are two or three art theaters in Indianapolis.
What do you mean by art theater?
So if you're in Indianapolis, the Can Can Cinema and the Keystone Mall Landmark Theater, those are the theaters that are super small, but it's like pretty much if you want to watch the best picture winner every year before it wins the award, it's not going to be at the AMC. It's not going to be at the Regal. It's not going to be at the Cinemark. It's going to be at the art theater. It's for independent cinema.
Okay.
And so the art theaters are in real trouble because there are a lot of independent movies that are made every year, hundreds of them. There are more movies made every year than you can watch. And that the art theater is supposed to kind of be the curator. It's like, look, this one's worth it. Like the Can Can showed Hundreds of Beavers in like June, and that was like I missed it, so I had to watch it on like YouTube. But it's like it art theaters support up and coming filmmakers with their smaller projects. Sean Baker would not exist if it weren't for art theaters. Brady Corbay's The Brutalist would not exist if it weren't for art theaters. They are super important in how Hollywood works. But if no one goes to theaters in general, AMC and Regal and Cinemark can kind of survive like
Mhm.
through Half-Life. Our theaters can't. They will close.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very depressing way to wrap up this episode, but I think it's important. I think
Yeah.
it's important to talk about it. And I like because I've wrestled with it too. I've gone back and forth where at the end of the day, I'm still gonna go to the movies. So selfishly, like I can kind of put in the back of my mind, like it's not gonna impact me, but it could eventually. Like it
I,
could start to impact the movies I get to see in theaters or the theaters I go to. So it will impact me eventually, but
I will say it is already impacting you because during COVID, those movie theaters didn't have enough revenue to um, refurbish their theaters. So the projectors get old. You have to replace them. The screens get worn down. You have to replace those. The seats get sticky. The floors get sticky. Movie theaters are messy because people don't clean up after themselves. Pick up your
yeah.
trash.
And Flix
Um,
got rid of their French toast. That's where it drew the line for me. Flix Brewhouse and Carmel. I love you guys to
yeah,
death. Bring back the French toast. You got to bring it back. It's my favorite thing you ever had. They got rid of it like a year ago, and I still go because I'm a champion of film, but I need my French toast.
yeah. But movie theaters are their materials are degrading and they don't have the money to replace them. So I have been to several movie theaters where the screens are in rough shape. There's like tears in them and stuff. So it will affect you if even if you still go by yourself and no one else goes. The movie theaters won't have enough money to replace the stuff that gives you that better experience.
All right. So here's the challenge I want to leave everyone listening to this in any capacity. Go to the movies, take a picture of yourself. Get there early so you're not doing this during like previews, like opening credits, whatever. Take a picture of yourself in the theaters. Hashtag good time at the movies, and tag us. Tag good time. I'll repost every single thing. We're gonna start a movement, and people are gonna go to the movies. I will do it every
Or
single time.
or just take a picture of you walking into the movie
Yeah.
theater and show up 15 minutes after the screening because trailers are now either 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
There you go.
You can go later. You can go later. I what I do is I speed to the movie theater. I get a little adrenaline rush. I speed to the movie theater. I go up to the kiosk so I don't have to talk to anybody. I punch in. I find a seat because I'm sitting alone. That makes it easier.
Mhm.
And I buy at the movie theater so that I don't have to pay like $2 extra for the online fee or whatever.
Yeah.
And I show up like after the screening has already happened. So I can skip some of the trailers.
Nice.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
I've got to the point. So at Flix, I'm a platinum member. No big deal. I
Okay.
went 30 times last year. I get free popcorn all year. It's incredible, and I get a companion pass. So every time I buy
Mm.
a ticket, I just get an extra ticket. So I just get 2 tickets every time I go to the movies.
Oh, that's
So
nice. Yeah.
if anyone listening is in India and wants to go to the movies, let me know. I will always have an extra ticket. So that on top of that, go to the movies. Hashtag good time at the movies. I will repost every single one. Maybe it will come up with some kind of prize or something.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. The details are hazy. This just came to me. Good time at the movies. Show me you're going, and I'll love you forever. Yeah, kind of a depressing way to end this, but very important
Yeah.
topic. Very important to talk
Yes.
about. So thank you for listening. Black Bag Review. Go see that if it's still in theaters around you. It's a great flick.
Date night.
And
It's a perfect date night movie.
there we go. Take
Yeah.
your girlfriend, take your boyfriend. It'll be great. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next movie review. Peace.